Hello, love, and welcome back, or welcome to What I Am Seeing. Daisy welcomes you too. Today's session is going to be the first in a 4 total series where I will be offering you love and support through the cycles of transformation. Cycles of transformation have 4 phases. I first learned about these cycles of transformation probably back in 2018, 2019 from my teacher, Karen Curry Parker. And she teaches that there are 3 phases of transformation, but I've added a phase based on my own lived experiences through these cycles of transformation over the years. So originally she taught the 3 phases were 1, disruption, phase 2, liminality or the void, and phase 3, expansion. And again, based off of my own experience, I added a phase in between the void and expansion, what I call emergence. So that gives us four phases. Disruption, liminality or the void, emergence, and expansion. So as I said, in this particular session, we're going to be focusing on phase 1, which is the phase of disruption. Our candle is lavender and sage, and our incense is lavender and sea salt. So we all go through these cycles of transformation. The call of the soul demands growth, so there's no escaping them. It's part of the human experience. And they are not linear phases, which I'm going to show you an image in a moment. cleansing and clearing our space to love and support you through this cycle, this phase of disruption. So as I said, the cycles of transformation have 4 phases, and the first one is disruption, liminality or the void, emergence, expansion or resolution. And I have them depicted in this spiral here because they are not linear. They are not linear, and it is a spiral because these cycles repeat. And so when the disruption happens, or in the void, or in one of these phases, we tend to think, oh, here I am going through this again. But you're at a different level and space in the spiral. It's a spiral that continues. If you can picture it like a spiral funnel, and you are growing and evolving at each stage, each up level of consciousness, you're still going to experience these different phases, but you have grown, you have learned, you have evolved. And so even though it may feel familiar or seem similar, it's not. You're at a different point, a different marker in your timeline, a different point on the spiral or in the spiral. That is the journey of our life here in form. So, disruption, the void, emergence, expansion. At any given time in our life, we are at one of these cycles. And having a conscious awareness of these phases has helped me tremendously in navigating my life with a deeper understanding according to what phase I'm in. It has allowed me to not try to rush through or bypass each phase, but understand it and let it run its course with more love, more grace, and more compassion for myself. And that is what I hope to support you in, and that you have for yourself as you go through each phase, which specifically today, again, we're focusing on disruption. And I do want to mention there are two types of disruption. The kind that just seems to happen out of nowhere, and then there is intentional disruption. And intentional disruption is when you consciously and intentionally disrupt your life. Consciously making that decision, like quitting your job, or moving, or trying to get pregnant, or buying a pet. All of those things are disruptors, disruptions, pattern interrupts. Even remodeling your home, etc. So either way, whether or not we are intentionally disrupting our lives or not, we can still feel it, feel all of the feels that come from this disruption, from this pattern interrupt. So today, we are going to tend to your heart. We're going to tend to your heart today. We are going to see it, to love it, to honor it, to hold it, support it, and care for it. These cycles of disruption is like a crisis moment, chaos. It's the Tower card. in the tarot. It's the crumbling of something that needs to be removed, brought down to the ground, cleared out, released, cleansed, let go. And it's not because you did anything wrong or you're being punished. It's typically our soul that's calling us out. It's an indicator that you are ready to grow. You are ready to grow. And you can instantly feel like you did something wrong or the victim, but truly it's the universe saying, honey, you are ready to grow. You're ready to grow. You're ready to up-level. During disruption, it's a process that allows us to, like I said, let go of those things that do not match your current vibrational frequency or the story or the life that you're trying to move into. And it also can be this karmic mirror to show you the quality of your self-love and your self-worth that is inviting you to make this big change. Because the quality of your self-love and your self-worth determines, that's the basis, the base, the foundation in your life upon which everything else is built. So if the quality of your self-love and your self-worth is not big enough, is not a high quality, it doesn't actually match the truth of who you are. So the universe is going to get your attention and assist you and help you to disrupt that story, disrupt that pattern, so that you can build this upon a foundation with high self-love and high self-worth, because that quality determines then what you are attracting into your life. So we're going to use our Italian rainbow cookie sponge, and we're just going to clean up, wipe up the debris from the disruption. We're going to gently just wipe it up, clean it up, as if we were carefully and slowly and intentionally clearing up the rubble and the debris from the tower, crumbling and coming down to the ground. It can look messy, can feel messy, can be so painful, so shocking. And so we're not going to force or rush this process. We're just going to gently sponge up, clear up the debris from this type of disruption in your life. So disruption can be cataclysmic, it can be astrological. We go through these specific life cycles throughout our timeline here. Typically, these types of disruptions shatter our old identity. It's your soul purpose calling you, your soul calling you into this bigger expression of the story of who you are, especially if you've been not living authentically or playing too small when you were designed to be so big. And this disruption can happen anytime you outgrow your personal narrative. So we're just gently going to clean up the aftermath of the disruption slowly and gently. Just allow yourself to be loved and supported. We're particularly cleaning up and working around the heart space. Disruption can look like a divorce, an end of a relationship, someone crossing over, a death, a loved one, or a pet. It can look like being laid off or quitting. It can come in the form of an accident, an unexpected pregnancy, even finding out that a close friend is moving, or even getting a new pet. These are all examples of disruption. And when these types of things happen, you are extremely vulnerable to wanting to go back to how things were, because it's less frightening to forge forward and to move forward into the unknown. And there's deep grief that comes with experiencing these types of disruptions, depending specifically to on the magnitude of this disruption. So we are just going to honor and recognize and lovingly clear up and sweep up everything that has crumbled. Everything that has fallen away, fallen down, that is no longer what it once was. And we honor and see the shock and denial that can come with disruption, the pain and the guilt, the anger and the bargaining, and the depression. And we don't want to bypass or ignore or try to swiftly move through these stages of grief, but we want to honor it and recognize it and let it run its course and process and integrate and allow the support that we need during this time. Trusting and believing that it is for your higher good, that there is a bigger purpose it's serving. And the more awareness and understanding you have around this particular phase, the more empowered you will feel. The more you're able to keep that little flicker of hope and faith alive, that it's temporary and you'll move through it to the other side. We're just going to particularly clean out, clear out, and sponge up any stuck energy, particularly for those who have the gate 51 defined in your chart. The gate 51, you may be more susceptible to getting stuck in the shock. If you have the gate 28 defined, you are more susceptible to being stuck in the grief. If you're a fourth line profile, you do not like change or being in limbo, and you can experience this deep fear of loss. And if you have any of these tribal emotional channels, disruption, or especially the loss of a relationship, can feel so extra intense. It's the 4130, the 1949, or the 3740. Any of those three channels, if you have those defined, can really intensify and magnify the disruption and the loss of a loved one or a relationship. And that 4130 channel has a fantasy element to it. So you may be stuck in a loop and wondering how things could have gone different, how they could have been different, and you may have not even had an actual reality understanding of what the situation was, because there is that fantasy element there. So you may not have had a clear depiction of reality due to that fantasy element, which can then seem even more shocking and more detrimental in when that gets disrupted. So we're just going to take this soft, fluffy heart, which is a representation of your heart, and we're just going to massage and nurture it as we recognize the different types and lines and centers correlation to grief in times of disruption. And we're just going to calm the heart and quiet the heart. And we're going to help it to feel safe again. This is your heart. You can close your eyes and just imagine your own heart being nurtured and massaged. And that knowing it will feel safe again to open and not want to stay contracted because it hurts and it's grieving. So again, we're going to go through the types in grief, the lines in grief, and the centers in grief, as we just continue to gently massage and nurture your heart. The initiator types experience the loss of power and autonomy. The alchemists and the time benders experience the loss of momentum. The orchestrator types experience the loss of value. And that could be value of themselves or their resources. And the calibrators experience a loss of a sense of home, of what was home, what was familiar, what was comfortable. And now looking at your profile line through the lens of disruption, the line ones experience a loss of understanding. They lose their foundation, so it feels. The line 2, there's a loss of energetic integrity. The line 3 is a loss of confidence. The line 4 is a loss of stability. The line 5 is a loss of safety. And the line 6 is a loss of purpose. Gently nurturing your heart. Gently massaging your heart. And the experience of disruption through the lens of the centers in grief. The head center, the loss of possibility and hope. The ajna, loss of beliefs, meaning what you thought was true is no longer true through this experience of the disruption. The throat is the loss of power. The G center is the loss of direction and love. The will is the loss of integrity and value. The emotional solar plexus is the loss of creativity and faith. The sacral is the loss of meaningful work. The spleen is the loss of safety and time, and the root is the loss of drive and motivation. Okay, now that we've massaged your heart, we're going to take this symbol of your heart here, this metal heart, and we're just going to softly and gently stroke your heart. We don't want it to completely contract so much that it closes and shuts down. So we're just going to spend some time softly. Now that we've massaged it, nurtured it, we're just going to allow the natural process to take place, keeping it engaged because it wants to shut down. It wants to contract to keep itself safe. It's harder to feel, but you're not alone. You are supported. You don't need to rush this process, but just know that it's not going to last forever. And shutting down your heart is only going to hurt you more in the long run. In the end, it's only going to hurt you more. Gently massaging your heart here. Gently stroking each part of your heart. That's like the sound and the song of your heart. Letting it play its tone. The heart cry. we have another representation of your heart. And we're just going to use this red heart to gently rub and tap it back into coherence. We want to keep it awake and active. Giving it the attention that it needs so it can continue to heal and stay open. Slowly tapping it back into coherence. Little love taps. Knowing that when you're ready, you will be able to move forward. You will be able to reconstruct your heart, your life. To work through everything that you've experienced. To be able to move forward. You're not meant to stay in this phase forever. There is so much more for you. To help you, to support you, we're going to use the emotional resiliency quantum essence from the Potion Lady. This emotional resiliency blend is the perfect flower essence to help you in these times of disruption and crisis and chaos. This is going to help you energetically harmonize all of the emotions that you feel, that you're going through, that you're experiencing in times of disruption. The aspen flower in this blend instills deep peace, this inner peace and security, helping you to recalibrate by addressing your fears and the unknown. We're just going to rub this in, specifically focused on your heart space, since we did all of that heart work, that heart care, that heart love, that heart support. Rubbing this into your heart space now. And we'll just take another pass. And now we will rub this into every center, completely encompassing you and your auric bodies, permeating every center, starting from your crown all the way down to your root, Just rubbing this in, sealing this in. Wherever you're feeling the pain of disruption in your body, we are tending to that now. We're helping it to heal and clear every area, every part. There's nothing wrong with receiving love and support to help you through the harder times. We're not meant to do life alone. No one is meant to do this alone. You need support, you need a community, you need your people. And even those types, the initiators and the time benders, don't technically, energetically need people. But we still need people. Okay, love, that looks really good. I think we got every area, every little nook and cranny. Yeah. And last but not least, we are going to pull a Riverstone for each of our phases, so that way you get to keep this grounding Riverstone with there's a word written on it as a reminder for this phase that you're in. So let's see what our Riverstone is going to be for this phase of disruption. Now, if you're not comfortable with the word God, you can replace this with spirit, source, divine, the cosmos, higher self, whatever word that is your higher power, angels, whatever this is that you feel comfortable with. This reminder is that you can even put your best friend's name on here. This is a message and a reminder for you that you are not alone, and that you are seen, you are loved, you are supported despite what your outer circumstances look like. You're not forgotten about. So this is your reminder that you do have unforeseen, invisible allies who love, guide, and support you on a daily basis here in form, and that you are not alone. So whatever name you want to put here that you feel comfortable with, to remind you that during this phase and cycle of disruption, you have this person, this thing, this spirit, whatever it is, as your anchor to stay here, to be in your body, to feel, to know that it's a temporary experience that is working out for your highest good, for your highest evolution, for your highest timeline, and that you don't have to go through this alone. This is your reminder. Through this disruption phase, every time you find yourself in it, to remember that you're not alone, and there's so many others going through the disruption phase right now with you as well. And love, any time that you find yourself in the disruption phase in life, because we will continue to go through the spiral, and we will continue to go through disruptions, and whether that's an intentional disruption that you intentionally, consciously create in your life because you know that you're ready to grow and go and move on to the next level, which I personally have gotten to that point where I rather to have the knowingness and the conscious awareness of what needs to change, what pattern I need to interrupt and disrupt, and for me to make that conscious choice to disrupt my life versus this blindsided cosmic 2x4 that can come if I'm not paying attention, if I'm not aware, and if I'm resisting the change that I know that needs to be made, because the universe is so loving and wants the best for us and knows what we deserve and knows our worth. It's not going to let us settle and stay in that space forever. So in my experience, will I be able to escape the unintentional disruptions? No, that's just a part of the human experience. But I'd rather have more intentional disruptions, knowing when things need to change. I'd rather have more of those than the cosmic 2x4s that very jarringly and shockingly get our attention. So we have more control. You have more control than you think you do. So may you come back to this session anytime you find yourself in a cycle of disruption to know that you're not alone, and then to receive some cleansing and clearing up of the debris, and then also some heart attention, heart care to help your heart heal and to help to keep it open and keep it feeling safe enough to stay open and expanded instead of wanting to completely shut down and contract. So you are all set, love, to either continue on with your day or sink into a deep sleep to wake up tomorrow renewed, refreshed, and reknown. I look forward to our next session together. May you remember, you are loved, you are light, you are love. I know who you are in truth. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. You are free, you are free, you are free. I am you. You are me. And we are